It's time for another special edition of the Fall Classic Sports Talk Live as the Toronto Blue Jays and the Los Angeles Dodgers meet in the World Series. Tonight's broadcast is a Northern Lights Entertainment production. Here are your hosts, Glenn and Eric.
All right, welcome to the Fall Classic Sports Talk Live, formerly known as Giant Sports Talk Live. Wow, game one in the books. Toronto Blue Jays absolutely clean up against the Dodgers. Beat the Dodgers 11-4. Huge sixth inning. And hey, guess what? We got a special guest. Lou!
And now, a special guest appearance, Lou Marsden, on tonight's edition of the Fall Classic Sports Talk Live.
All right, Lou, thanks for joining with us again. For those of you who weren't with us earlier this afternoon, we had a nice little pregame. Lou was with us along with the great Marty Lurie. So I tell you what, man, let's get into this. Glenn,
hey, Lou, do we make you feel special or what?
You know what? Hey, guys, it's an honor to be here, especially after an amazing game one, and I'm so excited. You know, if you would have listened earlier today with us three and Marty, you would have made money like I did, because exactly what we spoke about exactly came to fruition, and it's just one of those things where, like I said, these playoffs are so amazing and so incredible. When you think you know it, it goes the complete opposite way. So it does. No, it was good, and glad to be here, and I'm excited to talk tonight after, a great game, and a lot of firsts for game one. That's what makes baseball so unique.
Yes.
Everybody hit it on the head today. Eric, you threw out the name Barger. I brought that up to you by text during the game. I went, hey, you threw that name around a little bit today in the pregame. I said, get Snell out of there, and as soon as you get to the bullpen, that's where you'll do your damage. Again, I texted you during the broadcast of the game. We were watching it. I said, Eric, this is where they got to do their damage. And then Barger comes up, and how many times have we said it during the Giants season? And I think Lou was with us, one of our broadcasts on the Giant Sports Talk Live, and we used the term, go to the ball game, watch a ball game, listen to a ball game. Something will happen. Something just may happen that you've never seen before. First ever pinch hit grand slam in World Series history goes down tonight. We all saw it. Big game for the Toronto Blue Jays. The fans. Was I right? The fans.
Yeah. It was rabid.
And then I love the way they closed it out. We don't need you. Of course, he did hit a home run, Shohei Ohtani, and I was texting with my dad as well. He was watching the game, staying up late on the East Coast for it. And I said to him, I called the home run, actually. I said, if Ohtani goes deep here, he's not going to hit a home run every at-bat. So if he wants to hit one here, and you've got this, 9-run leak, go ahead. And then, of course, he hit one. But it was a huge game tonight, Eric.
It was
coming up with a big hit.
Obviously, with the bases loaded, I was just trying to put the ball in the play, to be honest, and get a run in. But it ended up working out better than that.
This place erupted when that ball went into the stands. Describe to me what it was like rounding the bases when the Rogers Center was just in a frenzy.
I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I couldn't feel my legs. I just kind of blacked out.
Compliments of Rogers Sportsnet. There he is, your guy, your pick to click tonight. Gets the grand slam, Eric.
I tell you what, and that's something that you always hear when people hit a big home run. They always said, I didn't feel my legs. You're just in the moment, man. It's something that you have to be in it to understand what it feels like. But hey, I got to give Lou credit. Lou talked about Alejando Kirk. And boy, that guy got on base 3 times, and he wound up hitting a 2-run shot of his own. I mean, it was just it. I tell you what, man, this is what I've been saying. If the Toronto Blue Jays play Toronto Blue Jays baseball, they're going to score runs. And then, I mean, look at that 6th inning. Holy bejeez. I mean, it was incredible. Absolutely incredible. I mean, and it wasn't, granted, yeah, the grand slam was nice, but even before that, it got the 5-2, and they were just hitting, drawing the walk, getting hit by a pitch. I mean, it was just nuts. And we'll get a little bit more into this. Should have Dave Roberts maybe have not allowed Blake Snell to go out there for the 6th? That's something we could talk about. Again, that's something we talked about earlier too. What are the managers going to do? Are they going to go out there and they're going to be able to make the right decision so that they win the game? And I tell you, and there's another key point in this game. And again, I gotta give props to Lou, because one thing he always talks about, the shutdown inning. It was a tie score. And what did John Schneider do? He went to Sir Anthony Dominguez. Yeah, Sir Anthony. He came out and he shut down. Boom.
You had to correct me too. I texted Eric. I said, "Was this guy royalty during the Mariners series?" Sir Anthony. No, that's his name. That's just what I know about.
But the thing is after that shutdown inning, that's when the Blue Jays came and they freaking erupted.
You know what else, guys? You know what else? You're talking about the starting pitcher, Trey Savage. I don't think it's a surprise to anybody. He didn't have his stuff. I mean, he just didn't have the control that he should have as a Game 1 starter. But I give him his props. They were on the Jays broadcast. He kept him in the game, Eric. He kept him in the game even though he didn't have his stuff. It was a 2-2 ball game before the on to win. So it's not like he didn't have his stuff and they were getting blitzed by any shape or form. So, you know what? A guy who makes his first World Series appearance, former Giant, on the hill tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's right. Lou, what you got? What do you think about tomorrow's game?
I'm gonna give you two things. One is, when I did one of your shows, you were nice enough for me to come on. I think it might have been the first preview before the playoffs started. I said, what makes the playoffs so unique is you're going to have someone you've never heard of who's going to come off and get a big hit, and he's going to live in infamy. And your guy, Eric, tonight, you could have given 25 names. Most guys probably never heard of the guy, and he hits the first pinch hit ever in World Series history. I mean, that bat and the ball, if they could get it, would go in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. It's just one of those things. That's why the playoffs are so unique. But I wanted to bring up one stat that I heard that sort of blew my mind, because us being Giant fans, we don't see this. And this is one of the biggest Giants problems. In that inning, the 6th inning with 9 runs, they got 7 hits. Yeah. 6 of the 7 were with 2 strikes. 5 out of the 7 were 0-2 counts that they worked in. That's something where, and then here's the other thing. Going into that 6th inning with all that action, they had 32 foul balls that went out of the stands. It might not sound like much, but that's an extra 30 pitches the pitchers have to do. That's where we keep saying about you got to fight. You got to fight. Compared to the Giants striking out, not doing it, 2 out hits are huge, but 2 strikeout hits are really the poison, but I've never seen that in one inning where, they had 2 guys, both 0-2. Both guys worked walks. Amazing, right? Great eyes. Keeping fouling off. And then what Toronto did is they made him pay for it. We talked about how big walks are, but they made him pay for it. The grand slam. And what happened is, you got to remember early, being a fan, if you were at the game, you were a little frustrated because it seemed like Toronto had the chance in the first inning. Bases loaded, couldn't get the big hit. They had runners on, and, they ran into the 3rd out where the guy, and again, it takes a perfect throw from Snell to get him out on 3rd with that ground ball. But it sort of seemed like you're only going to get so many chances, but they finally came through. And the other great thing about that is, beside the 9 runs, 7 hits in an inning. Now, 2 of them were home runs, a slam, and then a solo shot. But that's what makes Toronto so amazing. 7 hits in one inning. I think we probably had Giants had 50 games where we only had 3 hits or less. It just seemed like that. They did it in one inning. They made the Dodgers pay for it, and it was over. And, we talk about the manager thing. When he came in, I mean, that guy, I was like, who is that guy? I mean, this lefty was just throwing rockets, and it sort of took the Dodgers, like, they don't even know who was up there. You know, it was such a change from a guy throwing the splitter to now this lefty coming in, and it really was a first good punch. And I'm really glad it was the Blue Jays, because now the Dodgers realize, hey, it's not over. It's only game one, as you guys got to remember. And Glenn brought up a great point. Last series, they were down 0-2, Toronto was, and they were down 2 games twice, and they came back. So it's not over, but it's a great game one to start, and I'm very happy.
This team knows they can beat anybody. And I don't know, I'm just going to read off. This will take me a minute. But I sent you this little picture, a snapshot of how the Jays have hit during the postseason. But it's not just the key hits and those timely hits. It's who they're getting the hits against. ALDS Game 2, 3 innings. Max Fried, they chased him. 7 earned runs in those 3 innings that they faced Fried. Game 3, Rodon, he only went 2 1/3. They scored 6 runs. ALCS, let's move on to Seattle. George Kirby, he went 4. They scored 8 runs in those 4 innings against Kirby. Castillo, the real Louis Castillo, he only made 2 1/3 innings, and they scored 3 runs to get him out early. And the ALCS Game 6, we can remember last week, Gilbert, 4 innings, a little more respectable. They did score 4 runs, and look what they did tonight. So this is not a team that goes, oh my God, we're facing Snell and Yamamoto. They're getting the job done against quality pitching, Eric. Lou, you're right on the money. They had their chances early, but the pitching held them in the game. I can't say anything bad about Yasevich tonight, Lou. He kept them in the game.
Yeah, where's all the Dodger fans? Come on, guys.
Yeah,
I know you're lurking out there, and it's okay. It's the World Series.
I'll tell you the other thing, too, Glenn, is if you saw the rallies, they all started at the bottom of the lineup. It wasn't really never the top. The bottom of the lineup make the Dodgers pay. And, we've talked about this. This lineup is so deep. But when you get half your hits from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it's a big difference, when you have someone leading off. And the other thing, too, is I thought today, with Bo Bichette coming, his first hit was the Oppo.
Yep.
Which was nice to get going. Then he hit the double play. But there's so much pressure on the top of the lineup of Toronto. And the same thing, too, with the Dodgers, where they got to perform. But Toronto tonight, it was all the bottom of the lineup. Bottom of the lineup. That's why when you're 7 to 9 deep, it's huge. Huge.
Yeah, but Lou, don't even talk about Bo Bichette from the batter's box. Don't tell me that Bo Bichette, they've thrown around his name. Oh, he could be a giant. Oh, but he plays second base.
He's never leaving. Why would he leave Toronto?
Base. Did you see that throw from second base deep behind the bag? And it was literally
beautiful.
A little bit of a stretch, but it was a great throw. They got the out from deep behind second on a bang type of play. I thought he played a solid second base. They said he only played a
great double play. Yep. Yes. Great double play.
And then he gets what did he draw? I can't remember. Did he draw a walk or got a base hit? And then they pitched run for him with kind of Falefa, which was smart because he's probably not going to come up again. And you're going to go with the defense and a guy who could run a little bit more, right? But I'm going to tell you something. You know what that play did too? It helped out Trey Savage because one thing, even though Trey wasn't on, he limited the damage. He only allowed 2 earned runs, and that's pretty damn good against a really tough Dodger lineup that was consistently putting pressure on him, and he was able to navigate out of that, and that was beautiful to see because the defense picked up for him.
And they got you Savage there, Eric. They took him out. Why? They were going to the top of the lineup, and they were going to face Shohei. So I thought it was I thought going to the bullpen, the Blue Jays managed it perfectly tonight. Something I brought up in the pregame today. I said that he cannot make any mistakes. He just can't after what he did in game number 6, I guess it was, in Seattle. I was confused. We saw so much baseball, I can't keep track of them anymore, Eric. Look, at least we're not doing 4 a day anymore. 2 is enough. And we were great blessed to have Marty Laurie on in the pregame, which I thought was one of our best shows of the year. That was great.
And to Marty's point, right? What did he say about Blake Snell? He'll walk the park, and he wind up doing that because you don't know what you're going to get. Even though he's had some really good postseason,
We've seen it.
And let's not forget, he also said the same thing with Yamamoto and Glasnow. You just don't know. Yes, they've had some good postseasons, but they've also had the propensity to not really be sharp. So it's going to be be fun watching the rest of the way through to see what these guys can do. But man, I tell you, that Toronto, they had a game plan and they executed their game plan, and that's the key. Blue, you're talking about the foul balls. Look at the Lucas at bat was absolutely incredible.
With 2 strikes.
Dude, before you blinked your eye, the count was 0-2. And I'm like, oh, this dude's done. Lefty on lefty, he's done. And what did he do? He battled back and drew a walk. That was huge. Now,
during the broadcast, Buck Martinez, he was doing color on the Rogers Sportsnet. And he actually, during that at-bat, Eric, with 2 strikes on him, he stepped out, got a little time, did the old gloves up, and Buck Martinez says, now, this is where a Nathan Lucas at-bat begins. And he sure did.
That was unbelievable. By the way, did you know where you went to college? Sac State, right down the road.
State. Good.
How about that? Sac State.
I was going to say Sam Houston. That was, who knows?
It's funny because Sac State actually put out a tweet earlier talking about how he spent 10 years in the minor leagues. I love these stories, man. These stories are just beautiful because the guys who toiled in this minors for years and years, and now look at this. Not only did they have a fantastic season, you're in the World Series, man.
Yeah, but you know what? Awesome. Whenever that comes up during the broadcasts that I watch, and I love to not to be the homer up here in Canada where I'm broadcasting from tonight, up visiting my daughter for about another week. I get to watch the games on the Blue Jays network, Rogers Sportsnet. And when they bring up those kind of stories, first thing I think of, and they did talk about that, ironically, I believe it was the same at bat. With 2 strikes. They said, here's a guy who's toiled in the minor leagues. He gets his shot. And I automatically think of the San Francisco Giants. Why they keep rolling and rolling with the same kind of guys over and over and bringing up guys like Luciano and sending them down. The Blue Jays just find a guy who can hit. They go, okay, just go do your thing. Go out in the pasture, do your thing. And it's paying dividends. And the fact that the Blue Jays, what do they do? Another thing Buck Martinez said, it took the words right out of our mouths, Eric. He said they get the bat on the ball and it pays dividends eventually.
Yes, and that's the key. Lou, right? Isn't that something that we need? And I think Buster Posey has spoken to it. We need more guys who don't strike out as much and make contact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what's funny is, I'm just going to bring up Snell pitched 5 innings, 100 pitches. It seemed like he was out there a long time.
Yes.
It seemed like he was in trouble. And then here's the other thing. Toronto only struck out 4 times. That's it. 4 times the whole game. Okay. They didn't strike out in the inning. And it's sort of amazing where you score 9 runs, 7 hits with 2 strikes. You're assuming, they strike out. No, it's not like that. This team, their thing is it's like if they do strike out, it's a shock compared to the Giants that were so used to them striking out. When they don't strike out, it's, oh, God, they made contact. But you know what the Giants do? It's usually like an infield pop-up, or a foul out. These guys, the pitchers know when they go against them, especially where, we always talk about hitting is contagious. You could see that on this team. Everyone's playing for one goal, and that's the ring.
Yes.
When they started the broadcast as well, Eric, and I don't have the names off the top of my head, guys, but this Dodger team, I've never really thought about it or tried to break it down like this, but it's an all or nothing lineup. They have no bench, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
They have no bench. I mean, the only decent bat I thought was on the bench was that backup catcher we can have at Revolt or Resavolt.
Or he put he's
Carr, him and Carr.
Rojas.
They got no bench. They got to roll with what they got. And if they're on, they can be on. But if they're not, I'm telling you, big game tomorrow night. When you're now, look at the pressure. You got a home game again, right back to it tomorrow night. The momentum. Gosman, like I mentioned earlier, gets his first start of the World Series. And you know what? There's an unselfish player. Gosman. They were leaning toward going with him. And I don't know if you guys remember back in game 6, he pitched an inning of relief and he went to the manager and said, I don't know if I can't let the players down.
Yeah. I want one more day.
I'd rather have the extra day. That is why Yesevich ended up pitching in game 1. Yeah. And I think that sets them up quite nicely now. You get Yesevich's start. That's okay. You've stolen a game. I mean, a big win, but they've stolen that one. They got that game with Yesevich. Now you're rolling with arguably Gosman is your number 1, but you're rolling him in game 2 with a 1-0 lead. This is looking good so far.
It is. Now, Espinoza says too much overreacting just game 1. No, there's no overreacting. We're talking about how well the Toronto Blue Jays. Look, I've been watching, I don't know if you have, Espinoza, but I've been watching the Toronto Blue Jays throughout the postseason, and those guys, man, with the exception of the 2 games in Toronto where they just look flat in the first 2 games in the CS, this is who they are, man. They're good. They're a good team. I think Marty said it, and I've said it in the past as well. They're a well-rounded team. They pitch enough, right? And the hitting, I tell you, they are a tough out. You're going to come out bleeding and freaking sweating and cussing because they are a tough out. They're not easy to get an out, man. And Blake Snell saw firsthand what a really good Blue Jays team can do. And man, I tell you, and real quick, because we kind of just went over it, but with the addition of Bo Bichette, it lengthened the lineup, right? And he did pretty good. Considering you're going up against Blake Snell, your first game back in a month, if not longer. And he came out and he took care of business. And again, played a fantastic second base. So I don't think there's no fear.
He'll be better tomorrow.
Sign him, you'd be no fear if the Giants sign him as your next.
I haven't. I don't want to rub this in over and over and skin the cat every night. But what I tell you, Eric, it sort of goes to what Lou says about anybody can be the hero. This Toronto Blue Jay team, not household names, but I guaranteed you that by the end of their playoff year, whether it was last series, now they're into the World Series, whenever this thing ends, people are going to start. Geez, Nathan Lucas. And Barger and, Schneider got the start tonight. So these are names that weren't household names. So to jump in, you know what? You had to know this Blue Jay team. You really had to have watched them during the baseball season, Eric.
You want answers? You can't handle the truth.
Oh, look at
this.
He's dropping some freaking, the Colonel.
Some Blue Jay bombs.
Yeah, Eric and Glenn, I want to bring up just 2 quick points. One is people forget Toronto at home had the best record in all the majors. Okay. So it's a tough place to win. And people forget in the offseason, beginning of the season, people might not remember, but Toronto finished dead last in the American League East last year.
74 wins.
Okay. And their best player, he's going to get traded to the Giants. They had problems.
Yeah.
Now they signed their big guy, and everyone says, oh, my God, they paid him all that money. He's not as good as his dad. He's proven he's worth his money. Okay?
100%.
Now, again, it's not over. It's game 1, right?
True.
But say they win tomorrow, and they go up 2-0. I'm not saying it's over, but that means the Dodgers got to win 4 of the next 5.
Yes.
It's a big difference, and that's the key. But you get the first win tonight. You thought the place Rogers Center was rocking tonight. It's going to be 10 times crazier tomorrow. And, I think that's the thing, being a Giants fan, what you sort of forget. When the Giants played at Oracle with the the orange blankets going around, the towels, everything, there was nothing like it. And I think if Giant fans should get upset about anything is we haven't experienced that. We experienced it very little and like that much in 2021.
Lou, are you talking about our play, like when we were running for the World Series, Eric? Or Lou? Is that what you were referring to when they were going with the towels? And
no, I'm just saying even in the playoffs, the place was rocking.
So are you telling me that term I don't know if you realized it. Did you catch it, Eric? Nothing like it. You telling me that's been around for like 14 years?
No. I'm just saying that the surrounding, not our horrible motto.
Absolutely.
But, it's just something where, hey, again, And Toronto are good fans. I mean, if you guys watched a hockey game, they have more people outside of the venue than inside because they can't get in. And I think they're a great baseball town and they're a great hockey town, but this was big and I'm excited. And I think that Glenn brings up a great point. The great thing about baseball, we come right back tomorrow, 24 hours later, boom, let's do it.
Boom. Yep.
Yeah, and it can work in both sides, right, Eric? You got the Dodgers. They can brush this. Like, remember last week, Lou used to just pick up the carpet, sweep it under there, move right on. You got a chance to rebound. But with the momentum, on the other flip side of the coin, you got the Jays. Man, I'd be ready.
There you go.
Okay. I'd be ready to play a doubleheader. Let's play two and get it out of the way.
Eric, do you think the break hurt the Dodgers?
It might. You know who brought that up? Marty brought that up.
And me with pitching.
Right, and you with the pitching.
10 days, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is something.
Both offense and that.
Yes, there is something to it now. Now that they're back in the swing of things, let's see. But there's a definite tone setting by the Toronto Blue Jays. They're showing, hey, this is how we're going to play, and we ain't going to go away. And to Aaron lost, Toronto sort of now playing with house money with the win with your Savage because now you got Gosman tomorrow.
Yep,
get greedy, 100%, man. You gotta step on the gas and not let up. You can't. I mean, this is the time where you got to go. Look, this is it, man. You win, you go home in your second place.
Hey, Eric, I don't know if you can find this or you have a rough idea. I mean, you're Mr. Statistician. You're the brains of the operation. I referred to you earlier tonight. You're the brains of this operation.
You
so
flatter me.
Oh, well, once in a while I throw you a bone. But I got to ask you, Eric, with guys like Barger and Lucas, and I don't know what Kirk earns, but there's got to be a difference in payrolls between these two ball clubs. Blue Jays have built it right.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Blue Jays actually spent quite a bit of money this year. This year, they actually spent
a couple of big contracts.
They're not like Dodgers and Mets, but they spent some money. Hey, check this out. Ryan. Oh, I'm just going to call you Ryan. Says Toronto Blue Jays fans here from Toronto really like your guys' channel. I've been watching it for a while and appreciate all the good coverage. You guys rock. Hey, Ryan, we appreciate you. Welcome to the fraternity we call Giant Sports Talk Live. We expect everybody, all fans from all different clubs to include, and I don't see them in there today, Los Angeles Dodger fans.
Well, Ryan, I don't always, throw away the Giants cap for the Blue Jays, but I'll just jump on board with you guys. I'm having a whole lot of fun cheering on this team. They're an exciting team. And Lou, that is something I've said for a couple of years now since I joined Eric on our program, Giant Sports Talk Live. I've said that I don't like the vanilla, the boring, the plain old San Francisco Giants. I watch this Blue Jay team. I got to tell you, as a Giant fan, I have a hell of a lot more fun watching the Blue Jays than I ever do watching my team, the Giants.
Well,
I agree. And, one thing I sort of forgot, I have in my notes. What's amazing is their last game, they were down 2 runs and they came back. Tonight, game 1 of the World Series, they're down 2 runs. They come back. This team is fearless. They're going to be one of these teams where you're going to have to kill them before they give up.
Yes.
And that's tough to find.
Yeah.
Back-to-back games down 2 runs, and they had so many chances. But, that homer in the 4th, that was more just to tie it, to show, hey, my God, we hit Snell. That sort of broke the cave open just a tad, and then 2 innings later, the flood happened, which, good teams find a way. And again, it wasn't from one of their top 4 batters. It wasn't even one of their top 5 batters. It's so big when you have a lineup that anybody can hurt you and somebody else other than the big 3 does, it gives everybody confidence.
You know what, Lou? You're right on. And you got to realize today, if you break down the stats, Eric, like we usually do during the Giants season, if you look at who did what tonight, it was the modest guys in the pecking order. I mean, you wait till you're going to get a game when Springer and Guerrero go off. I mean, it's got to happen. So, to get the production they did, Barger with a grand slam, he put up numbers.
Against the lefty. Against the lefty. It was lefty on lefty.
Yep.
And he crushed it.
Yep.
He
And how about
absolutely crushed it.
2 pinch hitters in the same inning?
Yeah.
You don't see that too often in baseball, and I don't even know if the Giants did that all year. I mean, maybe we did a pinch hitter and then a runner, but 2 pinch hitters, basically they were, I think it was 3 or 4 at bats apart. You know, you don't see it. Another pinch hitter, because I think we've been pretty tough on the Blue Jays manager, but he went for it, and that's what you got to do. And I thought Marty brought up a great point, and you know, we buttoned it up with the Hall of Famer Bochy. When you get a chance, it doesn't matter what you do. Even if you have to use 4 pinch hitters, you got to go for it. That might be the only time of the game you get an opportunity. Forget about later on. Do what you have to do now. And boom, all of a sudden, 9 runs.
You said that. You said that. You're talking about Bruce Bochy winning a 9. And what did Marty say today? You got to win today.
do
And you
whatever it takes.
Yep. Yes, Espinoza donates $5.
And now, another Giant Sports Talk Live Super Chat.
Said, I told you guys during the Brewer series, love listening to you guys. You did. I remember that. Thank you, Espinoza. The week off always affects the team. Dodgers will be fine. Save this receipt. Okay, that's cool. Hey, backing your team. I get it. Go for it, man. That's what you do. You're a fan. You're a Dodger fan, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, it's one game. It doesn't mean anything. But, yeah, hey, appreciate the support, even though you're a Dodger fan. Like I said, they're all welcome here. But,
their chances significantly dropped, though, I think, after tonight, Eric.
I see Kyle. Look at this. And right below that super chat, thank you again, Espinoza. Kyle McKiernan of the McKiernan clan says, per SF1, winner of game 1 has gone on to win the World Series 63% of the time, 80% in the wild card era. Sorry. How about that? We'll see. We'll see.
Eric, I don't think I brought it up during our pregame show, but I had mentioned it to you either in text or off the air, and I don't know if Lou caught this as well. I told Eric, a team that sweeps the competition in a CS, ALCS, and NLCS, a team that sweeps has never won the World Series. Take that to the bank, Dodger fans.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, the beauty of baseball is there are so many different stats that can be brought out, and you're just like, what the hell is that? You don't even think about it, and all of a sudden you get into it, and then boom, look at this.
You know, I got to bring something up before I forget, Eric. Now, we love Lou Marsden. He gave us a great night out at the ballpark. We had great seats. I got the ball from Wilmer. I called the home run. We just had – it was a memorable night. It was one for the ages, wasn't it?
It was.
But as much as I love Lou,
can
anybody hook me up with this guy? Because this guy gets the primo seats, Lou. Primo seats in any freaking city he wants. I want to hang out with that guy.
I met him at the Breeders' Cup.
With the Marlin man.
You did? You met him at the Breeders' Cup?
What?
I met him at the Breeders' Cup down at Santa Anita. He was walking around. So I asked him, I said, hey, first of all, I admire you. You always seem to get the same seats. You're probably StubHub's biggest client. What did you do? And he said, I sold my company, sold my home, and I love sports. And I said, why not? So he goes to every event he wants. You know, I mean, trust me, he'll probably, because remember, the games are going to be in LA. He'll probably go to LA, you know,
you will.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He'll fly back to Toronto, probably because they'll be off Friday, and he'll come back to San Diego, because he's just a guy where he says, the great thing about me now is he's single. Everyone knows me. So when he goes out, most of the time people buy him beers. Because they look at him like, dude, and nobody. I forgot what his real name is. It's like simple, like a Taylor, but everyone calls him the Marlin Man. But he walks around, and you got to remember, he has sort of started sort of a chain. Like when you watch the Giant games late in the year, there's always like 2 or 3 guys dressed in Marlins. They're not fans, but they're wannabes. Wannabes sitting behind home plate.
You're telling me.
Yeah, and you'll see it now all over on certain things. And when you really think about it, it's always that, the Marlin pink salmon color. It's never the other units. It's because they all want to be with him, and they all have the visor too. It's not just
the visor.
The visor
And and they got it kicked off to the side, all that stuff. Hey,
you're telling me he's going over like to the West Coast to the game. He'll go to the games in LA, and every time Eric and I hear that magic sound, we think it's Tariq Skubal flying by. It's actually a Marlin man. He's got his helo. He's got his own chopper, a whirly bird, Eric. Who knew?
Yeah. He just goes on StubHub and he looks and gets them.
That's crazy.
But
Who must die?
It's not just that he's at the games, guys. Just to tail off this, I'm just going back to what I started with. He's not just there. He's like the Lou Marsden of the Marlin fans. I mean, he's literally got the same seat in every stadium. He doesn't get, we got a seat for you, $10,000, but we're putting you on the third base line. He's always right there.
Right there. Yeah, I'll have to find the photo with him because, we're at an event, the Breeders' Cup, where we're sort of dressed up, and then here he is, the exact same. It's like, who knows? He might, you know what? And you don't know this, but he's become such a big Marlins fan. The Marlins might keep giving him free stuff.
Yeah, why not?
Free publicity, free everything. Yeah. But I'll try to find the photo. When I do, I'll send it to you guys. But again, class act, just loves sports. He's sort of like us. I mean, imagine having him on the show. A couple hours wouldn't be enough because he would tell you about all the great stories, all the great events he's been to. And you know what? More the merrier.
Hey,
on the show, a little extra cash. Enjoy sporting events.
I'll get him on the
phone. I'll get him on the
phones this week. I'll get him on that.
Boo must die. He's a diehard Blue Jays fan. Says Gosman destroys lefties. Not scared at all. Gosman is basically Snell against lefties. He has like a 180 average and a 630 OPS against left. That's huge because again, you got some lefties in that lineup that you got to neutralize. Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, right? Who else do they got that's out there? Oh, Tommy Edman.
I like it.
Tommy Edman. So Boo must die doing his homework. He knows about his pitchers and Gosman, and that's why I wanted the Giants to keep him. But whatever.
What would they say? Boo is focused, Eric.
Focused. Abraham, what's up? He says, yes, we can. Oh, speaking of which, hey, I got to acknowledge this. I haven't got a chance to see it, but I saw some tweets about it. It sounds like Canada treated the United States national anthem with some respect, and that's awesome. That is fantastic. We don't hear it. You don't. Yes, I know. You don't ever hear the boos raining out. There's no need for that. Come on. It's baseball. Let's come together.
Did you?
No, I didn't get it.
I didn't get it. You about the anthem.
Yeah, you told me
said if the games is good at Lou. I thought the anthems were actually.
I thought the way they did it with the people in the outfield, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the Canadian came out, the logo. It was amazing. I thought the way they presented the national anthem today was top notch. It was done so well and classy, and that's what I expect.
Cito Gaston throughout the first pitch.
You know who's throwing out tomorrow, right?
I do.
Eric Romo.
Nope.
Come on. Well, you've done it before, Eric. Did you know?
Yeah.
Should we give you a hint?
Tomorrow.
Touch them all.
Joe Carter.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Joe.
It wasn't Elaine Tomacheek, that's for sure.
But man, this is going to be something. I'm looking forward. I'm already ready for game 2, man. Let's play 2, right? But it's again, Dodgers, man, they're going to have to figure this is not going to be easier for them because Gosman, he's good. And if he's on his game, it's not going to be easy. Again, it's another guy that throws a splitter. And it's funny because Trey Savage today, they were showing the percentages of how much he was throwing that splitter today. He was like usually in the mid to mid 20s to mid 30s. He was only like 13% splitter usage. Again, you got to be careful with the Dodgers. They like to hit the splitter. They look for it to get elevated and they crush it. So
yeah, and I'm going to say one thing too is tonight against Snell, they were spraying the ball all over. They're going to have to do the same tomorrow with Yamamoto because he throws 8 pitches. You're not even sure where the pitch is going to be. So I think it's a big key because they can.
And that's the key. And speaking of which, because Alejandro Kirk, did you see how he went the other way? Almost had 2 home runs. That ball, the ball he had at the wall. I was like, get back to first, Kirk. Get back. Because I was like, man, because Teoscar's got a pretty damn good arm, and you don't want to test that.
And then, of course, he couldn't score on the single. He barely got the third where the ball was already thrown in. But hey,
are you telling me he's the Wilmers of catchers?
he's like Mark. I don't know if you remember, we had a guy named Mark Hill for the Giants.
Of course,
at one time where he was so slow, but he did his job.
Another thing I got to bring up, it doesn't relate to the final outcome or what was played today, but you guys got to watch this. So Davis Schneider, I mentioned, he got the start tonight, pulled, one of those guys who pulled for the back-to-back or the same inning, they pinch hit, right? So Schneider comes out. Did you see him batting earlier in the game? Did you see his batting stance? They said he is the most knowledgeable. This is the kind of players they have. Why can't we get guys like this? That guy, all he does is study batter-pitcher relationships. So when he was facing the pitcher tonight, who had in that kind of, that type of pitcher, he said, all right, that type of pitcher, who would technically have the best numbers against him? Was his own teammate.
Really?
The catcher.
No kidding.
So did you see his stance?
Yeah.
Sort of the same, yeah.
They said he doesn't have his own stance every game. He copies other players' hitting stance. So he stood there. He had the Will Smith stance going tonight.
Interesting.
Watch it. I'm telling you. It's amazing what you can learn. I took a break today. I told Eric that the pregame on television for the Jays game today started at like 7 a.m. this morning and went till first pitch. They had like a 12-hour or 11-hour pregame show. That's how big. Lou, the LA Dodgers have fans over the world, right? I mean, they're based out of LA, Burbank. That's where they're at. Don't forget, the Blue Jays are an entire country.
That's fair. Yeah.
So this is huge up here. I mean, I'm 1,000 miles away. I'm in Winnipeg. I mean, it's people driving with those little, little stick flags. You can put them in the top of your window. You roll up the window. And people are driving. And then you got the guys who have the big, half-ton trucks. And they got the huge flags going. Look, it looked like half of Winnipeg was like going to a blue NASCAR race today. There were flags everywhere. It was unbelievable, Luke.
No, I agree. It's sort of like how big the Cowboys are for the NFL. The
Worldwide.
team,
and the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Oh, of course, that's big. But it's just one of those things. I think people keep forgetting, Seattle and Toronto came at the same time. But Seattle's in the United States, okay? They're in Washington. Without Montreal, the Expos, there is only one Canadian team. One. That's it.
That's it.
And, it's become so big that, they are representing a huge, except for if you had a Canadian team going for the Stanley Cup, right? But you got to remember the thing about Toronto, why they're so hungry, especially in Toronto, is they have gone through some horrendous losses in the last 5-10 years.
Yeah,
the Maple Leafs were up 3-0, lost. They were up 3-1 and had a 3-0 lead and lost. Where hockey has just sort of let them down. They assume they're going to lose. Not with Toronto. Not with the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays have shown them, hey, guys, we're going to win. And if some team's going to beat us, they're going to have to use all 26 guys. And you could see it. They were down, like I said, last game. They were down tonight. And these fans were still standing up. They were standing up, trying to get them to, only be down 2-0. And when they hit that homer, that place was rocket.
It was
the grand slam. And that whole night, that whole inning, 6th inning, if you watch the highlights again, I don't know, except there was one person sitting like in the front row. It might have even been the Marlin guy who was standing up the whole entire time.
Yeah.
They were standing up the whole inning. And that inning probably took 40-something minutes.
Oh, it was forever, man.
That's what it's about.
Funny you mentioned hockey, Lou. I don't know if you caught this last night. I love when they do these kind of games. So last night, Carolina Hurricanes played at Colorado.
The old school.
Not just that, Carolina. Did you see what I didn't get a good shot
Hartford.
of it, but you'll get
They had Hartford.
Hartford Whalers.
The original. They had
wow.
Eric. They did the original
against
things
the
where they're
Quebec
from, the Quebec Nordiques. And then what they did so I saw this game. What was great about it was when they first did it, hey guys, welcome to the game. They did the old feed, so it wasn't even in high definition. Welcome to the Hartford Whalers game, and they even had old voices. Not the original broadcasters, because when Hartford's guy is no longer with us, hey guys, welcome to Hartford game number 2 of the season. We're coming against one of our rivals. Very old school, but I love it that they all wore their old unis and where they started from. And what was amazing is the game started and it was 4-1 the visitors. And you see people in the stands. Why do we do this crap? And then of course Colorado came all the way back, being hockey, especially at home. But I love that stuff. And I love what hockey does that. They do old school and they make it special. What does baseball do? We do these horrible things on Tuesday night with our City Connect things. It's not the same.
Well, I was just going to say, Eric and Lou, breaking news. Apparently, the Colorado fans were not happy with the City Connect idea. We don't want the graffiti look. Let's just go all the way back to our roots in Quebec, Canada. And it worked out good. I love those nights there, Lou. Eric's not a big hockey fan, though. Eric, you a big Sharks fan by any chance?
We got to get him to a Sharks game. With those young guys, they have 4 guys that are below 20. They're still 2 years away.
Well, tickets are pretty cheap. You don't have to go all out for us. Maybe we can get lower bowl for next to nothing.
I'll go with you, Abraham. Let's go to a game and have some fun.
Let's plan it out. I'm game for that. Why not?
They haven't won a freaking game. The coach said he'd give up his kids. He goes, "You can have my kids. I just want to win."
They won last night at the Garden, then they lost to New Jersey night 3-1.
And I'll tell you what, Lou, when I was stationed in Arizona, of all places, my supervisor is a huge hockey fan. And he says, hey, there's an IHL here. The Phoenix Roadrunners, they were the minor league for the LA Kings. He's like, let's go see a game. And it's like, right on. Oh, my God. It is the most fun game to watch because, it's constant action. Don't get me wrong. Baseball is my love. But when you go watch hockey, that is something.
Once you go to one hockey game, you're a fan. And here's something I'm going to bring up. Eric, you might not be aware of, but, there is no more team in Arizona. They're now in Utah, and they've won 7 straight. They've won more than they did literally when they were in Arizona. Again, it's just different. It didn't work out, but that's why a lot of teams, move. There was a team in Atlanta, but one thing about hockey is hockey throughout the season tries to keep it special for the fans because once playoff hockey starts, how we talked about how great Major League is, by far, hockey playoffs are the best. And when you get a Game 7 in hockey, it just takes it to another level. It doesn't matter what thing, but yeah, let's definitely get you out, to a game, and we'll have fun. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, here with this Mammoth. What a great name for the team, the Utah Mammoth. And their logo's the I can't say this very well. Abominable snowman.
An abominable snowman.
Yeah.
Well, last year wasn't it a big U?
They were just Utah Hockey Club.
Utah.
The Mammoth,
Hockey Club.
And they got a big Sam Squanch. What do you call them in the States?
Sasquatch.
Sam Squanch. We call him Sam Squanch.
James, look at this. You started something with the Mark Hill thing. 1978 Giants great season. We are believers in Giants fever. There you go.
You know what? There's a song to that. Be a believer in Giant fever.
I'm gonna have to pull that up
with Vita Blue. We got
no
Bob
kidding.
Neppa. So the Giants.
Okay, I'm gonna have to find that on YouTube and bring it up.
Great thing, and it was all kids. Something we've been fighting for is play the kids. That's what it was all about. And they made a big trade getting Vita Blue. Vita was sort of having problems. He came here. I think he went like 14-3. It was a huge thing, but we had Bob Nepper. Bob Nepper was there. And then, of course, Giants got cheap. We couldn't afford him, and he became a Houston Astro. But no, the Giants they were one of these teams where I think we wind up going 83 wins. But back then, you got to remember, Houston Astros were the bomb. And then we had Cincinnati Reds, and then the Dodgers. It was a lot different. Yeah.
What about everybody's favorite 1978 player? Who must die? He's actually, I thought that might be impersonating.
Let me see. Oh, you know what? To speak to what you're talking about, throwback games. I loved what MLB did. Remember when the Giants 2 years ago when they went back to Alabama
for Willie Mays film,
and remember for the one inning they did it, the old black and white, the old score. Anyway, and then the sound was thrown back.
That was ESPN. Yeah,
fantastic.
The Giants couldn't do that because they're too cheap. They would never have like 40-cent hot dog nights.
I mean, it won't be good for TV. Just do the whole game like that, and then for fans in the stand, this is gonna suck. Turn off the scoreboard. But have guys out there with the big megaphone announcing the do-ups. All that, you know what I'm saying? That would be so cool, man.
You have the flap that'll tell you, 1 strike, 2 balls. The guys got to keep flapping like you do at a basketball game. I remember the Giants did it one time back at the Stick when they bought the bleachers in, so they did sort of an old school thing. I can't remember who it was against, but yeah, I think you know what? Those are the games when you do, the old alumni games. There's fantasy. Take it to another level. We're too stagnant sometimes. Make it special. Publicize it. I thought the one thing about like the Giants this year with their City Connects, last year, they sort of said, hey, new City Connect, what do you think? This one, they just sort of threw on the wall. People still don't even know what it was about, who did it. They should do something where if you can do a City Connect, make it Tuesday nights. Those are the nights where, upper level, $5. Like, remember they used to have a half price night at Candlestick on Tuesday nights because nobody was showing up. Half price night. Do beers for $5. Do something. Again, the uniform with the creamsicle was one thing because it was so unique. These new ones, nobody really knows what it was. I mean, I know Glenn liked it because he had Flores's and it worked. Yeah, there you go. But it wasn't really, that's not really old school. I would have done something like the old hats. Like, maybe like the Giants, where they wore all black used to on Friday nights. Just do something. Oh, there you go. Be a believer. Listen to the tune. And then what's great about the tune, Eric, is you're going to probably remember about 8 or 9 ball players. And you go, oh, yeah, I forgot he played there.
All right, here we go. I don't know. Here, let's
we allowed to play this?
I'll just do like 10 seconds. Unfortunately, I don't think this guy's got 7 subscribers. I don't think he's going to care.
We get a copy.
Okay, that's total freaking 70s right there. That's total freaking 70s.
It's songs like that they had Disco Demolition Night, Eric. And it's one thing to go retro. I don't know about you guys, but I just nod and be polite. When we had Marty Laurie on today, you guys remember in 1958, I'm like,
1968, 1954,
yeah. And I'm older than Eric, and Eric's just, oh, yeah.
Well, I know about the 54 series. They didn't know much about the 68, so.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of laughs, man.
Dude, good stuff, though, man.
What a great game tonight. Got a big one tomorrow, and we always got next year to look forward to, right?
Yeah, Skyway Young. Yeah, buddy. Why not?
I don't know.
Why the hell not?
Anyway,
so tomorrow, Yamamoto going right for the Dodgers and good old Gosman, going for the Toronto Blue Jays. What you guys think? I feel pretty good as far as because I'm rooting for the Blue Jays, by the way.
Jays win again tomorrow night, and I think it's going to be a close one, though. It's going to be
and if they win, and the good thing, if they do win, they got to come back to Toronto, and that's huge. I mean, at the minimum, you want to split. At least you didn't get swept. So, I mean, I don't. When Milwaukee went back to LA, there was always that, I don't know if they're going to be able to beat them in LA. And they didn't. They couldn't do a damn thing. Brewers just, it was.
They were intimidated. They were outclassed. Toronto's
they fell apart.
They're neither. Yeah.
Yeah. Just fell apart. So I'm looking forward to that. And you know what I like too? Toronto Blue Jays, they stopped the whole Santander experiment. Just no. Yeah, I don't want to see him out there, man. He isn't doing anything, and just wait till next year. Gosh dang.
I was going to say when Marty asked us about who we thought would win, and I tried to give you the old political answer and kind of weave my magic, and Eric caught me.
Nah.
He didn't answer the question.
Come on, Glenn.
I was going to say, listen, mark it down in your scorebook right now. At the end of this World Series, blue and white will be the winner.
Oh, God. Look at you. Yeah, you should have said that. That would have been good.
By the way, Lou, I didn't know this until just today. Jesus. I think Dan put like $1 on the Giants to win. I think it was $30,000, $20,000.
Oh, yeah.
$6,000, I think it was. If you bet $1 on the Blue Jays
in the beginning of the season,
$1 would pay you $6,000. They paid
kidding.
6,000 to 1, Eric.
Wow.
$10 is 60,000 freaking dollars.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to remember they finished dead last in the American
That's
League
right.
East. So
That's right.
I mean, I will admit I'm sort of a Blue Jays fan because I did have them winning the East at 8-1. I had him at 15-1 just to make the dance. And then tonight before the game, I did make one play. And since we had our little talk, the Blue Jays in 6 pays me 26-1 because you got to remember they got to win and they got to win game 6, so you get the odds. So I bet 20, and if I get back, I get 520. And I'll make you a deal, Eric. Here's my thing: since it only cost me 20. Since I know we talked off the air that, you want to do another fundraiser for next year, I will get half. So if I win, I will donate $260 to the charity.
Hey,
let's go Jays in 6.
So we can't root for a sweep. But hey, there we go.
But
by the way, I wrote them
awesome.
down today. I took notes.
Awesome.
I always bring my notes to the show. I have the Jays in 6. And Lou has the Jays in 6. Eric, you took him in 7. Marty took LA in 6. He is behind the 8 ball, so to speak. But
but there's
we'll see.
plenty
The
of
Jaspers,
baseball.
it's early. I don't know. We'll see.
Again, remember, playoffs don't start until the road team wins a game.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
But no, I thought today, hey guys, great way to end the night. Great game.
Yes.
I thought today with Marty was great because the thing about Marty too is he really talks about the history. But I think one great thing, and I think because he's been hanging out with Eric so much, is when before I met Marty, he was really more of a homer because he had to be, I think, working on KMBR, and him being the podcast, he can actually speak freely. I think when you're under the tool of KMBR, no matter what, you got to be a homer, and that's one of the things, I think, which was great. Plus, I did see his trailer for his movie, and he gave me more excited. Plus, he was nice enough to take a photo with us. Hell, when you're that big as Marty is, and he had a lady with him just to take a photo. Now, it might have helped that we were in the front row, so he wanted to look good. But, I really admired him. And I thought today he had his guards down. He let us talk. And I think he was better for letting us talk than the other way. Where a lot of times on him, he wants to get his word out. And I think, he realizes, hey, Eric, he sees you on his show, but not really like the setting we had today. I thought it was good for everybody. And I thought he was like, I got a lot of work to do because these guys really know their shit, and they do a great job. I thought it was really, really well done. So thanks for asking me to be the 4th. And,
absolutely.
I think going tomorrow, it's amazing how one game can really change your attitude. It's like, I'm really fired. And again, we knew this World Series is going to be special. We didn't want the Dodgers to dominate winning 4, but getting this first game, I'm really excited, and I think what's really nice too, is we get to go tomorrow and then we get Sunday off. You got to remember, we waited 4 days, it seemed like, because we couldn't talk baseball. We couldn't do this. We had the Giants' new manager come in. That was sort of the thing, but really we didn't talk about the World Series. And with that little break, I thought we stood up today and dominated. So
it was awesome.
My dad texted me right at bedtime for him. Again, it was I think midnight. The game ends. So he had the quote of the night, guys. He said, "Tonight's game opened some eyes," and I think it did.
Absolutely, as it should, because the Toronto Blue Jays play some really good baseball. Again, I'll say this again. I said it earlier. Toronto Blue Jays play old National League baseball, and it works. It works. It's nice to get those home runs. Don't get me wrong, but they put pressure on the pitcher consistently, because even if they didn't get the grand slam and extra runs, they still would have won 5-4 if everything went as it went out without the home runs. So again, man, I like what I see in the Blue Jays, and it's going to be fun watching Game 2 tomorrow, same time, right? 5:00 start.
Yeah.
A little bit later because of all the festivities, but yeah.
5:08. Let's get greedy. Let's see if we can go up 2-0. Get greedy. Why not?
I like it. Anything else you want to say, Glenn, before we get out of here?
No, I think tomorrow, big chance at home with they got their number one guy going tomorrow. They're already up 1-0. Big chance to not only take the lead in the series, but with the Dodgers, really, like Lou said earlier, you can win 4-5 then. Take care of business at home tomorrow.
There you go. All right, Lou. Again, thanks for hanging out. We'll do it again tomorrow night with the post game. Looking forward to it. It's gonna be good, man. I'm telling you, this is gonna be fun. It's not low. I like what Marty said. It's not the World Season. It's the World Series, baby. And you got to go out there and you got to take care of business and win your game. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Woo!
See.
You've been watching the Fall Classic Sports Talk Live with Glenn and Eric, an in-depth review of today's World Series matchup between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Los Angeles Dodgers, a Northern Lights Entertainment broadcasting production.